Good morning, soul family. Welcome to another episode of our soul tips for the week. And we are doing a second part in a series of talks about protection crystals during lockdown. So like a crystal pack for lockdown and what crystals you can use during this time. So last week we covered a little bit on the protection crystals, and I know that these protection crystals are the ones that most people are asking me questions about, sending me messages saying which crystals can I use. So I think let's just dive into the protection crystals and which ones you can use. So I just want to add that these are not the only protection crystals that I'm going to be covering today. There is so many crystals that you can use for protection. So please, if you do have a crystal that you're unsure or that you think maybe you can use it for protection, you are so welcome to message me and ask me, can I use this for protection, or what you can use these crystals for. I'm very, very happy to answer your questions regarding your crystals and what you can use them for. So specifically on the protection side, what do we need protection from? For those of you that are joining us for the first time and that don't really know why we use crystals for all of these weird things, or it's like a little bit weird for you. So I have a talk and a podcast available on a course that I ran in the beginning of the year, explaining the energy and crystals and why the crystals actually influence us, and we can use it for healing and for protection, and on all different kinds of levels. So if you're interested, let me know. We can also make that available to you. You can also just message me for that. So basically the protection crystals, and the reason why, or what we can use protection crystals for, are, for instance, for negative energy that are in our homes. If we feel that we have negative thoughts or being bombarded by negativity, heavy energy, energies that are low, thoughts that are low vibration, thoughts that pull you down and take your joy and take your light away, or anything that takes the light away or that stands in your way of growing and progressing as a person, that would be a negative pattern or negative energy. So these crystals that I'm going to touch on are going to be very helpful for those things. So also on the negative energy side, something else that I also want to touch on is that these crystals that I'm mentioning today also assist on electromagnetic stress from cell phone towers, from computers, from microwaves, electrical wiring in our houses, and things like that are actually not that good for us. So these are great for that too. So let's start off with the first crystal for protection, and that crystal is a crystal called smoky quartz. So I've put some crystals out here for you, as you can see, and I've got a few very nice smoky quartzes. So this is a smoky quartz. Beautiful. This is a beautiful guy. So that's this is also a smoky quartz. It's a nice big tumbled smoky quartz. And here's another little one. So just remember, as I mentioned in our last episode, it really doesn't matter what size a crystal is for it to be effective. So even tiny, small little crystals, I've got some small crystals that are really, really strong and potent and very effective. So the size doesn't really matter, but you can feel, when you hold a crystal, you can feel the energy of that crystal. So for the smoky quartz protects us against radiation and electromagnetic smog. So this is from the cell phone towers, radio waves, the frequencies out there. These guys are great to use. You can wear them on your body, like around your neck, or you can put them in your pocket, or you can just put them around your house, maybe in your office where you are working, on the windowsill. They are absolutely fantastic to use. So the next crystal I'm going to use and show you today for that helps us for protection purposes. I also mentioned this one in our last week's episode, is the amethyst. So amethyst is a great one because you can use amethyst for quite a few different things. Over here I've got a few different types of amethysts. I've got a beautiful big amethyst tooth here, but if you've got a small one at home, that's fine, it's great. Amethyst also can look like that. Really beautiful. Or I've got some tumbled ones. And remember, everybody, even if you've got a small little tumbled amethyst, they work perfect. So for amethyst, what amethyst does for us, and why it's really good for protection, is amethyst reduces anxiety within us. So in other words, it reduces that anxiety and that tension, and helps us to let go of that. So basically it unblocks these blockages, and therefore it does protect us. And it also, what amethyst also does is it defines boundaries. So through this whole process, it helps the whole protection of your space. It helps the protection of your own energy. So really, really great. Like I said, with a smoky quartz as well, if you want to wear it on you, that's perfect. Or just have it on your desk where you're working, or in the kitchen where you are. These are great, great crystals to have for protection, amethyst. The next one is a stone called preonite. So preonite is not so well known. I only really discovered preonite only a few years ago. There we go. Preonite. I've got another little one here. They all look different, but they all are very, very, very special. So preonite enables sensitive and empathic people to be sympathetic and not empathic. So in other words, if you are somebody who is an empath, and for those of you who don't know what an empath means, is people that are empaths pick up on other people's emotions and feelings, and it's very difficult for them to differentiate sometimes which belongs, which energies and feelings belongs to them and which doesn't. So the preonite, what it does for people that are empathetic or empaths, is it helps them to be sympathetic, so to have sympathy rather than to experience the emotion of the other person. So the preonite is really, really great for that. So basically what the preonite does is it avoids or helps us avoid picking up or absorbing other people's negative energy, which is a great protection for us. The next stone that I'm going to be touching on is a stone called, and I think most of you know this one, this is a very, very hot favorite of mine, and it's labradorite. So Labrador, yes, like the dog, Labradorite, Labradorite. And guys, no, they've got nothing to do with doggies, but I'm sure dogs do love them a lot. So the little Labradors out there might like a Labradorite. So Labradorite, I've got two different ones over here. Here's the one. You can see it's got a bit of a shimmer. I don't know if you can actually see it on the camera. So there's all sorts of colors in there of yellows, golds, greens, blues. Here's another Labradorite. You can see what this guy looks like. That's what it looks like when it's a little bit raw. And also, talking about raw, using raw crystals versus tumbled or polished crystals, these guys are basically equally good to use. It really depends from crystal to crystal. So, you don't have to have a big stone for it to be very powerful. You don't have to have a polished stone that's pretty for it to be powerful. You can just test them out. When you start working with these crystals, they really show you what to do with them and what to do for them and how they can serve you. So these Labradorites, amazing. So Labradorites protects us from irrational fear, and it helps you to find order in this chaos. So I think Labradorite is a really, really good stone to have, especially where we are now and in the situation that we all find ourselves during lockdown, and dealing with the chaos out there, dealing with the uncertainty of what the world is going to be looking like after lockdown ends. And so Labradorite really, really is going to be protecting us from this irrational fear, and it's going to help us to find order in this chaos. So the next stone that I want to touch on here is obsidian. So I did touch on obsidian quickly in our previous program or part one of this series. And this is the black obsidian. It's also called nature's glass. Really amazing. This guy clears and it cleanses any negative energy continuously. So it literally just pulls it out of the room, pulls it out of the air, out of its environment. It's really great, and it reflects negative energy back to its source. So if you're carrying it on you and you're dealing with somebody specifically that is very negative, it literally just pushes it away from you. It's a great stone. This is what it looks like. I did show you previously. This is a big boy. There we go. So obsidian is great to have in a room to absorb that negative energy. And if you have more questions about how to clean and clear your crystals, please let me know. I can guide you through that as well. So on the protection crystals, I think we've covered most of those. So the next bits that we're going to be covering today is crystals on positive thoughts. So most crystals bring about positive change in our lives when we start using them, and their amazing abilities. But these stones in particularly that I've taken out here brings about positive, or helps us to have a positive attitude and outlook on life. So it brings out the positivity in a particular situation, or induces a strong positive vibe in their presence. So this is great. So the first one I'm going to show you for positive thinking or repatterning and lifting those thoughts, those heavy thoughts, is a crystal called carnelian. Carnelian is pretty well known. It's been used for centuries. I've got one here. So carnelian is a stone that gives courage. It promotes positive life choices, and it is full of life force and vitality. Carnelian is really one of those stones that that you can always fall back on. It is really, really great. It's a warm stone. It brings warmth when you're feeling lonely and cold, especially with winter coming on. Carnelian will warm your heart. It will raise your thoughts from negative thoughts into positive thoughts. Use the stone. It is very, very powerful. The next one that I want to touch on as well is for positive thoughts is a stone, or it's a metal actually, called pyrite. So pyrite looks like this. Pyrite also, it forms in small little blocks. I don't know if you can see on camera that it looks like tiny little cubes that it forms in. So you sometimes get pyrite that form in nice cubes, like big cubes like that. So if you see it like that, it is real. Pyrite is also called fool's gold because it looks like gold. So this is a very, very positive stone, and it helps us to overcome feelings of inadequacy. So when we're feeling inadequate, if you're feeling inadequate to deal with a situation at the moment, pyrite is your stone. And it also helps us in inertia. So if you inertia is when you have come to a standstill and you can't seem to get yourself to start moving forward again. So pyrite is really great if you feel that you can't get out of a rut, you are stuck in something, you can't move. Let's say, for instance, you've now been in lockdown, you feel that you can't get up in the morning, you can't bath, you can't get ready, you can't get anything done. You've lapsed into a space of inertia. Use pyrite to get yourself out of that inertia and get yourself going to doing positive things for yourself. So the other thing that pyrite also does is it stimulates new ideas. So this is definitely also a stone that needs to be in our lockdown bag, because we need to step out of inertia and we need to step into a space where we are getting new positive ideas to build a new and bright future for ourselves. Last but not least, we are returning again to another old faithful, and that is smoky quartz. As you know, we just touched on smoky quartz that protects us against radiation and against magnetic smoke. Now here, for positive thinking and positive thoughts, we've got smoky quartz on the list as well. So this guy, our smoky quartzies, smoky quartzes, this guy. So what this guy does is it grounds us. So when you feel that you are too airy, you're not grounded, you're not being able, you're not grounded, you don't feel steadfast and anchored, this is the stone to use for that. So for grounding purposes, smoky quartz is wonderful, and it brings in positive vibrations to fill a space. So for any a need for positive energy, positive thought patterns. If you're sitting and working at home, there's nothing better like having a smoky quartz on the desk with you, because it brings in it brings in positivity and it absorbs the negativity, and it helps us to bring in positive new thoughts. So, well, that is that from me today with our beautiful crystals over here that I've got for you. We touched on most of them. There's one more one that I wanted to also just touch on that is really, really a powerful stone that I see here that I haven't touched on, and it's a stone called sugilite. So sugilite looks like this, and sugilite really, really helps for positive thinking. It's very, very good for people that struggle with depression. Very strong. You carry it on you, on your person, and it really just dissipates any negative energy, any negative thought patterns, and it literally lifts up. It brings in, draws in light and lightness of heart, and really helps for depression. So thank you very much for joining me, everybody. Thank you for watching this session of Soul Tips this morning again. And I hope you enjoyed this session with me and with Conrad, who's behind the camera again. And yeah, he's giving you all a hi. And I just want to wish you a very blessed day, especially after Easter. We've been in lockdown for a few weeks now, and I just want to reach out from my heart to your heart and just send you loads of love, loads of courage, loads of positive energy, and just a lot of soul vibes, beautiful soul vibes. Thank you for watching. See you again soon. Bye.